My name's Andy Crook, and my mission is to help garage owners become more successful in business. How do I do that? Well, I provide free training every week, or I try to, on a subject in one of the 5 pillars of business success. Tonight on planning, in particular long-term planning in the form of the big vision. So in the sort of show notes, if you like, the little description of what tonight's training is about, I said that long-term planning can feel a bit daunting. It all feels a little bit too abstract to spend any time on, because as everybody always points out to me, whenever I talk about planning, I always get the same sort of responses, and I've said it time and time again. Whereas it doesn't matter about planning, because nothing that you plan ever happens, and there are lots and lots of quotes, and there are a number that I often use. One of mine is Patton, who says, you know, the average plan carried out violently now is much better than the better plan carried out tomorrow. Or Tyson, you know, everyone's got a plan until they're punched in the face. And let's be fair, if you're in business, you're going to get punched in the face. So whatever you set out to be at your plan is unlikely to unfold in the way you expect it to. And it's never truer than long-term planning. And by long-term planning, I'm talking about 10 years away. That's the sort of minimum time period this plan is about. So the big vision is where you expect your business to be in at least 10 years, if not longer. If you can work out where you want your business to be when you finish with your business, when you're ready to hand your business over, retire, or whatever it is you want to do, we've got a training on that, the 3 ways to end your business. That's probably the ideal point to write your big vision for. What is it you want from your business when you're no longer associated with it? So how do you do that? How do you prevent it from being quite so abstract? Well, when I put together the planning stage for anybody who joins the Atomic Success Program, which is, if you like, the paid version of this, where you get all the help and the support and the templates, etc. I ask everyone to do the same exercise, and it's very similar to the exercise you would do for your personal vision, which is the same thing. Where do you want your business to take you? Because if you do your personal vision first, you build then a business to serve you, not the other way around, which is often the case. Most sort of small business owners find themselves serving their business instead of the other way around. And my idea is to try and correct that. So the first thing we look at is the core values of the business. And then what is the core focus of the business? What is its purpose? And what's its niche? Not that you might know what that is just yet. And I ask them to write a Goldmine Statement. And then the third thing is the actual vision statement, which is your 10-year target. So when you hear it written or spoken about like that, you can understand that none of this actually is any kind of major predicting of the future, or there's no tablets of stone here saying exactly what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. They're more outlines. They're visionary. They're what, if you like, what I often say to people is, what is the ideal version of your business? What would you like it to look like? And what would you aspire your business to be? Because that's what you ought to be putting in here. And then what does that, if you like, look like in terms of how it will affect your long-term plans, in terms of how you want to end your association with your business, if that's, you know, retiring, for example. So it's not about a detailed plan. This literally, all I'm going to ask you to do is write down 3 to 5 core values and 2 sentences. Sounds easy. Well, let's find out how easy it is. So what are your business core values? Because to write the big vision, basically, you're going to write what I consider to be 2 of the hardest sentences that you'll ever write in your life. Because it sounds dead simple, isn't it? You know, if I said to you, what does your business do? You could probably tell me, or could you? We'll come to that in a second. So we start with the core values. And what the core values exercise is about is really trying to get you to think about what would you like your business to to represent, if you like. And what this is where we start to think about your personal core values and your business core values should in some way be kind of similar. They don't have to be exactly the same, but they kind of have to reflect a bit about the business owners. Obviously, if you've got a business partner and you do the personal core values exercise, you should have a look at your answers and hopefully you'll have some common ground there. And it's probably that common ground that will start to form the basis of the core values of your business. So I've got around about 5 questions. It goes a lot further than this, but I haven't really got much time in 15 minutes to go into it in any detail. If you feel that this exercise may be of value to you, send me a message and we might see if you can want to join the if you like the Atomic Success Program, where you spend a week on this exercise. So it goes to show how important it is. So first question about establishing these 3 to 5 core values is, what is most important to you in your business? And that question is so wide and so varied that it's almost impossible to answer. You really need some help with that. And what I tend to do is I tend to have a list of words which are values, and I tend to go through them with a highlighter, and I keep refining that list until I've got the words that both closest and sort of reflect what I would consider are the key values of the business. So one of ours is continuous improvement and innovation. So that's one of our business core values, because it's something that we strive to do, and it's something that really, really is important to us. It's what we would call a fundamental value within the business. So the second question I ask people is, what motivates you in business? Now, the answer here can't be money, because that's never really the motivation. It has to go a little bit deeper than that. So why did you start the business in the first place? What motivated you to do that? And are you, if you like, is that now still the key thing that's driving you forward in the business, or there's something else? And it takes a bit of thinking about. None of these questions are particularly easy. So the third question, what are your non-negotiables? What, if somebody came in and offered you a large sum of money, would you not do for them? And we can start to, if you like, build up a picture of what is and isn't important, the core values of the business. So there are any number of things that you might not negotiate, are not willing to sort of surrender in for money or gain of position or popularity, whatever it is that this is non-negotiable in your business. Whatever the offer was, what wouldn't you do? And that starts to give you an idea of some of your core values. So the fourth question is, what do you want to be known for or recommended for locally? And that's fairly self-evident, but that's another one of your sort of your key values. Do you want to be known for being, the cheapest garage in town? Probably not a good idea. Or do you want to be known for being the best quality or offering the best service? It starts to sort of, once you start to know that, which of all of the things you could be known for would you most likely, or would you most like to be known for? Easy for me to say. So the fifth one is, what guides the decision making in the business? And will give you another idea of what really is a core value for your business. So they're the 5 questions I ask around the core values, and you're going to get maybe similar answers for 2 or 3 of them, and you should have 3 to 5 core values, no more than 5 because that's too many, no less than 3 because that's too few. Core values, so things that you would aspire for. What would you like to be known for? That stuff. Which allows you then to move on to the second bit. So we're asking you to write down 3 to 5 core values and 2 sentences. And the first sentence is your Goldmine Statement, which is the core focus of your business. Now, the Goldmine Statement simply communicates the purpose, values, and goals of your business. And there's a little formula that I use for it. So what you have to identify is the product and service that you supply, and who do you provide that product or service for, and what difference do you aim to make is a third part to that question, because that can also be added, if you like, to your Goldmine Statement. But basically, a Goldmine Statement simply is your purpose, your values, and your goals, and it communicates that in a succinct way, a sentence. Okay. Now, it doesn't really matter exactly how it's laid out, but who you serve and what you do for them is a good way of thinking about it. So if you think about what I always say as part of the Garage Owners Network group, the Atomic Success Program, its Goldmine Statement is simply the Atomic Success Program aims to help garage owners become more successful in business. So who, garage owners, what do I want to do for them? Make them more successful in business. It's quite a generic term. So one of the other things we ask people to think about in their core focus is their niche. Now, if the first time you're doing this, you're probably thinking, who is it you serve? Because you're probably going to say, well, the public, anyone who drives a car. Yeah, it's got to be a little bit more refined than that. A niche is a focused area of a market that you can caters for a particular need. So a focused area of a market that caters for a particular need. That is what a niche is. So if you think about the Atomic Success Program, which is easy for me to give you an example of, my niche is garage owners of micro businesses aged between 45 and 55. Because one of the big, if you like, differences I aim to make for those people is I want their retirement to become far more successful, rather than getting to the point where they're forced into retirement through ill health or just running out of energy or enthusiasm, and then turning around and going, right, how much money have I got in the bank? Oh, not enough. Or I'll sell my business. What's it worth? And wait until the last moment to plan that. My niche customer would be someone who's looking to retire in around about 10 years, and I can now set them up in a 10-year plan, the big vision being part of that, so that when they do retire, that they retire on their terms, not on somebody else's, which sounds obvious. So it sounds dead simple. So, but it's not. So the first thing I ask people to write down is, what is their product or service? What is their purpose? What are they doing, and who do they do it for? And I call that the niche, but it's more starting to build an avatar of your ideal customer, but getting an idea of who you want to serve and what difference you can make to them. And that's really what we write in our Goldmine Statement. So the next statement, the vision statement, sets out the long-term aims of the business. And it's just, all we want is a sentence that will serve to inspire and motivate both the owners and the employees of the business, and provide direction for decision making. And it's just a statement. And what I get people to do is the whole point of the program is we look at this statement and we can continue to refine it over a period of time, and we can make it slightly more detailed and brighter, and we can work out how we're going to do it. That's the further planning stages. But the vision is just what you would want. What is the ideal version of your business in a sentence? Sounds dead easy, isn't it? Vision statement sets out the long-term aims of the business to serve to inspire and motivate. So what would it be? So my vision statement for the Atomic Success Program, if you like, is to be the UK's leading online garage business coaching service. That's what I would like to be. Now, that vision statement will obviously become more and more refined as I go along. But that's what I've got written in that box for the Atomic Success Program. So just over the 15 minutes, so I'll wrap it up here. So if this has made you think at all about your long-term business plans, then I've done my job. If you want to do something more about it, There'll obviously be in time a guide which will be a written version of this that you can use to build up um, your core values, your core focus, and your Goldmine statement, and your 10-year target, your vision statement. You can build up from there. If you want to shortcut that process, get in touch with me, send me a DM, and we can see if you're a fit for the Atomic Success Program. And this is one of the exercises that you'll do. So, as I said before, this is two of the hardest sentences that you'll ever write in terms of business, in what you do in your business, because it sounds incredibly easy to write down what you do and who you do it for, but try it. It's not as easy as it seems. And if you want to add on to that what difference you make to them, you can also, if depending on how you do it, you can say a little bit more about, but a sentence, incredibly difficult, because most of us don't know what it is we actually do. What is our product or service? Because we're a garage, so it sounds obvious. But in a sentence, not so simple. And then the vision statement sets out the long-term aims of the business. A little bit easier, but what is your long-term aim for the business? Do you want to be the number one insert brand specialist in town, insert name, or is there something more to it? Lots and lots of things to think about here, especially the core values, which is probably the hardest exercise you'll ever do, because it's hard enough doing the core values for yourself. Then you're going to try and do the core values of a business that in some way mirrors yourself. And if you've got business partners, it has to mirror the more of all of you, and they all have to be things that you agree, because you have to be congruent with your values in what you do. So like I say, if I've made you think a little bit more about long-term planning for your business, if I've made long-term planning seem a little bit more relevant, a little bit less abstract, then I've done my job. It's purely, what are your business values? What are your business goals? Who do you serve? Who do you serve it for? And a long-term aim. Simple as that. Catch you next time. Good luck.